All right. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Kind of new game. uh, also, I'm really tired. Been up late trying to catch a cat that initially I thought was a stray mom and turned out to be somebody's lost cat from not around this area. So I do a little bit of trap neuter return just to control the population of strays and ferals in my area, and so I'm always kind of keeping an eye out for newcomers and cats who may or may not need homes. And sorry, people, drink my water. And so yeah, was aiming to get some kittens. The kittens vanished, but the cat that I initially thought was their mom turned out to not be nursing or their mom. She also had a collar on her and was like, well, she's either abandoned or a lost cat, and either way, she should be off the streets. And yeah, got her. Was very fortunate to find that there was a phone number engraved on the collar. Contacted the people, and they're like, yeah, she was missing like before last winter, and reunited her kind of bright and early. So, very tired because trapping cats is a late night endeavor, and yeah, and lots going on. So I might end up cutting this a little bit shorter because I'm volunteering for the Dallas is Lit Literary Festival and going to go see Joy. We have Joy Harjo coming in tonight, and so she's former poet laureate, so I'm super excited to be able to help out and to hear her talk and read some poetry. Also volunteering this Saturday for the 10th anniversary event of the Four Down Skate Park. They are a local skate park that also does food rescue and is just an overall cool community space. And they've got a lot of pros coming over, so super stoked about that. If you're watching the VOD, unfortunately, these things have passed, but you should check out Four Down if you're in Dallas, and the Writers Garret, which sponsors the Dallas is Lit Literary Festival. They're always putting on several literary events, whether it's like workshops, readings, just fun, different things, and not always poetry. It's like poetry, prose, sometimes genre fiction. So yeah, Writers Garret, and Four Down. And I also want to make an announcement. You may have seen the flyers if you're tuned in. And sorry, my cat is sticking his poopy butt in my face as per usual, so gotta deal with that. The downsides to having a medium to long haired cat. Oh, sorry. Adjust the volume for that. So yeah, I am performing again, finally. Let's see if I can grab the link. I'm returning to Plumesky Review. This is their annual Nerdless show, and last year I did Elsa from Frozen because it's June and it's Pride. This year I was like, okay, I did kind of my character that everybody knows. I'm bringing in a deep cut. Not going to say who it is because you're going to have to go to the show to find out if you're in DFW. I will say, unfortunately, this is a historic building, so there are stairs and no elevator. But if you can come and make it up there, I highly recommend. You could see our headliners, Cambria Cadava and Cordella Smash are two longtime Nerdless performers. We've got Fathoms Deep from New Orleans, who I've always wanted to go see. And then, yeah, a lot of new faces, some familiar ones. And if you wear a costume, you might be able to get a prize. Yeah, I've got the link to tickets in my profile. And if you want a VIP table, there are very few. It's a pretty intimate space, so get to it because there aren't many VIP tickets left. Also, we do tips, and it's cash. So yeah, bring cash. Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun event. I don't come out and perform that often now. I'm a gremlin who's streaming video games and just living on the computer. So yeah, if you are in DFW, this is one of your very few chances to see me perform. I would love more opportunities when the timing is right. If you've seen me on social, I have some very strong opinions about what is the lack of diversity, particularly this month, as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I know there aren't many of us, but we exist. If you're going to pay for a guest headliner, this would be the time to hire somebody. Yeah, that's my little soapbox. Just, especially now more than ever, we need representation. We need diversity. Put money in the pockets of marginalized folks because, DEI is being, tossed out the window. But as people in the fringe arts, we don't have to follow that. If anything, we've always been rebels. We've always been rule breakers. So let's not get rid of diverse presence. That being said, I also want to promote my friend's new magazine, Rustler, which was created to kind of address the lack of diversity in things like pinup and sexy content and horror. So this is created by Eva Regicide, who is a Latina drag performer, and she calls it Fangoria meets Playboy with a very queer twist and a lot of BIPOC performers and models being featured. There's plans for me to be in it. I'm really excited because I am a native Texan. I don't get to showcase my creature side too often, and I've got plans. There's also going to be writing in it, so I'm working on some written pieces. There's going to be art. It's going to be a lot of pulpy fun, and I'm excited. And I think, if you want a physical copy, subscribe before basically tomorrow so you can get their swag bag in session 0. Otherwise, there will be online content. And just, again, support queer BIPOC creators, because now more than ever, we are being attacked and we can't do stuff without you. And that brings me to the game we're going to play, TOUCHSTARVED. It is created by Red Spring Studio, which is queer and BIPOC run. And I sadly missed the Kickstarter demo when it was out a few years ago, but I do remember seeing the preview video and being like, yes, this is the game I want to play. I love anything gothic. I love dark romance. I love things that are a little bit messed up. I don't like dying in video games, which is why I play visual novels. But since I don't have the skills to really play video games, if my choices lead me to death, then so be it. As this stream is being titled, "My Pursuit of Pretty People Might Lead to My Demise," because it happens. You've got some creatures, you've got some shady people, you've got mysteries, and they recently revamped their demo, so I thought this would be the perfect time to play. This is one of the games where I also decided that we're going to continue playing a character that is based on the personality of my partner in pursuit of someone who is based who is very much like me. The Red Spring Studio on their socials has been teasing out different things with I guess, they're not necessarily love interests, they're all love interests, but basically characters you can pursue. And one of them, like immediately when they posted kind of this chart of skills, it was like, you're ranked 1 to 5, 5 being the strengths. It was like 5 in useless trivia and self-loathing. And I was like, hey, that's me. Also, this character loves stray cats and is kind of and hates bars. So me, yeah. So I was like, okay, we gotta try pursuing this character. It's going to be totally different from A Date with Death because this game has consequences. It has a very dark origin. It is much darker in tone. From what I've seen, there is like still some lighthearted dialogue, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit interesting trying to embody my partner while playing this game, because I do think he has more sense, so hopefully I won't kill him. Like, my personal desires won't lead to his demise. So let me make sure I got the gameplay all set up, because I realized when I was playing A Date with Death, I was covering up some of the text, so I might periodically pop back to make sure that doesn't happen. And also to chat. I still only have a single screen, so I apologize if I don't see your comments. I am trying to get a little bit better with multitasking. So, also, this game does come with trigger warnings. It is more violent. It gets off to a pretty gnarly start. So if you aren't a fan of like psychological violence and a little bit of physical violence, just tread carefully. Please take care of yourselves. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, yeah, so they also include some disclaimers, and I'm also okay, so I am going to change the music volume. So let me see if I can go back. So yeah, there is references to dismemberment, and I don't think it shows it, but yeah, we will be careful. Okay, I do wonder if I can go back and change the music. But okay, so instructions. In TOUCHSTARVED, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. I find that phrasing fascinating because I was listening to a Q&A with the devs, and one of the devs did set out to essentially kill us. So yeah. Choose wisely and save often, which I will try to do. Okay. Okay. So, last time we played Hana, and there is like confusion with names, and I realized I have the perfect name for this person who looks like me, has my partner's personality. If you know my IRL name and my partner's name, this is our couple. Our couple name is John. It's, a couple name being something like, Benifer and stuff like that. Yeah, we have a very boring one. It's John, but I think it's perfect for our little hybrid character. Oops. Okay, sorry, I went up. I do want to see if I can go back and I may have to do that later to quiet the music. And Pietro is sitting on my hand, so he's making it hard. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Choose pronouns. We're going to stick with they, them. There's a way to exit. Oh, there. Okay. So I'm a little bit not on full screen because I'm trying to see things. Oh. Sorry. My screen's a little. Let me adjust the settings. Because I cannot see the stuff, and it's not. I do need to change the settings a little bit. My computer is a little bit small. Try to resize the window. Oh, okay. Hi, Drew. Yeah, okay, hilarious. I would name them Corey, but they still look like me. So, yeah. Apparently, my computer is a little too small, so I might have to go full screen instead of window mode on this. And I do know where Corey comes from. Okay, so I might have to close out and start over because, yeah, I am running Windows 10 still, so this is... Okay, we're gonna try again. Sorry, y'all. Let me pull this up and redo my... Okay, now I think I've got it to where I can hopefully see the bottom. I'm sad that we can't play the music because it's really gorgeous, but yeah, hopefully. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna restart this. And yeah, Pietro is off my hand finally, so I can use it, or he's sort of off my hand. He's on my arm. Okay, there we go. It's really weird without music. But yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to deal with that. Save him. Okay, so this world began to unravel long before you were born. It all started with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than bloodshed. As unrest spread and cities fell, humans cowered in fear while monsters thrived amid the chaos. And then there's you. You don't know what you are, but one terrible truth is certain. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of those you touch. Choose your backstory. So, we've got the unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Spurred on by the mage's word, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences. The exile, a solitary survivor. You were exiled to a life far from civilization. Your only kinship was with an elderly hermit who taught you how to survive in the wild. He lost his life in search of a cure for you, but left you with the final lead to pursue the cenobium. You are a seasoned survivalist, well versed in deciphering soulless behaviors. You've gained fluency. Oh, sorry. Been getting a spam caller. You've gained fluency in various languages and an uncanny intuition for detecting danger. The alchemist, an abandoned mage, an exiled cenobium mage, took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled the cenobium seeking a cure. You're an experienced spellcaster with an encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. So, funny story. I think if we were playing with my own backstory, I would be the unnamed because psychic abilities run in my family. It sounds totally insane when I say it that way, but supposedly, I was seeing things as a baby, and my parents had that. They went to a fortune teller and they got rid of that. But occasionally, and coincidence. Yeah, Drew, that's actually what I was going to go for. It was the alchemist, but yeah, the oracle one fits my own personal story because apparently I had psychic powers, and every now and then these things pop up, and like my mom's got some weird uncanny abilities, and I also have a psychic. I guess he's like my second cousin once removed. He's my dad's cousin. But yeah, so I could have had psychic abilities, and my family got rid of that. So now I just have like dreams that weirdly come true every now and then, and apparently can curse myself with my poetry because last year 2 bad things happened to me and I wrote about them. So yeah, don't manifest misfortune even if you're like joking about it. I wrote a poem about going blind because my vision sucks, and then I lost vision in one eye. I wrote a poem about getting hit by a car. It was a poem actually about a whole bunch of bad things happened to me, and I got hit by a car. So I might be actually cursed. I did write a poem about winning $1 million. So we're waiting on that. But yeah, as you were saying, both the companion and I are actually scientists by trade and very nerdy people. So we're going with alchemist. Also, we both used to do steampunk, and that just kind of feels very on brand. Now, your name is John. You selected they, them pronouns. Your backstory as the alchemist. Is this correct? Yes. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but honestly, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. I can hide my hands and deflect probing questions. but sooner or later, people always suspect something strange about me. As rations grew sparse and canteens ran dry, tensions rose. Despair began to set in until I saw it. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and a new life is a final stretch of salt-soaked waste, or so I think until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach stinks at the very whisper of it, a silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, snuffing out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Oh, stay back! No! The cry dissolves into a wet gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strips of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes finally adjust do I see the dark shape before me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a carabiner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. I really like the design of this monster, but I also like things with eyeballs. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and charges me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. A horse screams in the distance. I need to move now. Okay, so our options are run for the city, head towards... I feel like the wagon is destroyed. We're going to run for the city. I take off running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He knocks me to the ground and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless instantly fall on him. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge, torn deep in my palm. But the pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Oh, the change in that. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. Ha 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 ha. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse. Madness of my own making. It's like we're like Rogue, but instead of taking away like people's life force, we just like make them lose their minds, I think. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die. Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks on my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs shriek for air. We're gonna fight them off. I don't think screaming is gonna do anything. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrists, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, and not because of the fogfall or the solace, but because of my curse. Tears sting in my eyes. No, 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 not here, not like this. But then their hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears, and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless above, the soulless shoves the body aside, its glowing eyes narrow as though grinning. There's a flash of claws. Red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Okay, give the soulless a little smooch for saving you. I know. I don't. Sadly, they're not an option, but yeah, would be actually funny if they were an option. I spot an arm resting among the outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. Okay, so we didn't give them a smooch, but I guess we gave them our arm. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold and alone in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But I take a reflexive breath, and air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back, warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my bleary eyes at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding. But more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cut through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No. Who the hell is this? Let's see, sit up or lie back down. I guess we're like halfway up, so I guess, we're gonna sit up because she said no. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light limns his pristine medical coat. I think it should be lines, but... I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I realize I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Oh, totally been there at the ER. Naked, lying on a cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. This man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. At least wherever we are, we're warm. The ER was freezing cold when I was there, and was like so miserable until finally they got me a blanket. I plunge my hands under the sheet, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable disgust, but his courteous smile lingers. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. I like that I went from question mark to doctor, because I guess we're putting two and two together and assuming that this person, or this individual, is a doctor. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he rises from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. This looks like a medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. So the options are thank you, or could you step out? We're gonna be polite. Thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are very welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. Okay, so he's also polite. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet, the limb shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least gasping out my last breaths. Or at least missing an arm? I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up and find myself bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I grab the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, bundled with a black woolen cloak. But there's one thing still missing, my bandages. The doctor didn't leave me with any, though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course that's when the door opens. Or when the door swings open. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, my legs bumping up against the cot. Your caution is understandable. Though if I mean you any harm, you would know. It's kind of ominous. It doesn't make me feel better in the slightest. But he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I can help if you tell me what ails you. I doubt it. Traveling to Iridia was a gamble born of desperation rather than hope. Nothing has come close to curing my curse. And yet, my left arm twitches, the arm that was severed before my very eyes. The doctor's unblinking gaze follows my every move. It's clear he won't drop this without some sort of answer. The bandages protect me, and they warn others to stay away. I've tried every way of covering my hands, and this works best. Most people avoid touching me as soon as they see the bandages. An illness, then, or a less mundane affliction spread by contact. I flinch. He doesn't even sound surprised, and that's far too close to the truth for comfort. I can glare at him or decline to answer. Just decline to answer. I think you're pissed off. It's just he's obviously acknowledging the truth. He is also a doctor, so, maybe he's seen some things. We do live in a magical world. Well, it's personal, and I don't really want to get into it. I have treated every affliction under the sun. I may have answers that you do not. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? I shake my head. I need to know more about this doctor before he figures me out. Who are you? You may call me Karash. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia, so I made it to the city of knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? Oh, his eyes looked off to the side. I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child, and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Cenobian mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. This is kind of interesting, medical this is my science brain popping in, where I'm like, this is where we are in medical developments in this world is no reattaching severed limbs. Even if he somehow could heal me with magic, I should be able to detect traces of it, but I sense nothing out of the ordinary. The doctor, Karash, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and one should not give or receive it freely. Since you refuse to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. He's getting a little sassy. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. Do not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Ooh. Do you understand? He glances at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit, he has a point. I'm a complete stranger to him, yet he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. John. My name is John. It is a pleasure to meet you, John. There is a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. I like the subtle changes with like the facial expressions that they have. Um, okay, since niceties seem to get more with Crush, I think we're gonna go with "Thank you for saving me," even though I think "Why did you save me" is like a question. But yeah, we're gonna be polite. Thank you for saving my life. I chant a smile in return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Crush. Think nothing of it. I am not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Crush. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. His reaction is so interesting. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what price Karash might demand for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption, I've rarely come across such a fascinating patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that a few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, John. His voice deeps into a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. I feel like Rush is not a very good liar. Like, you're pretty curious yourself, or I don't know what to say from that. Can I go? This almost sounds kind of flirty, and I don't know if we're in the mood to flirt, but also kind of want more info. So I think we're gonna kind of poke at him a little bit. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and leaving you destitute in a strange place would be unethical. Iridia may be a monster-ridden hell place, but they apparently have free healthcare. Or maybe it's just Crush, but, you know. I think about this a lot where I was like, this game I knew was going to have a dark setting, and I'm like, am I going to be in the mood to play? But it's also dark fantasy, so, you know, we get free healthcare at least. I fall silent, unsure of what to say. No one would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you're not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Karash lets out a tired sigh. It's like in these headphones, the knocking isn't as loud, but I was listening to like someone else play an older version of the demo with earbuds, and I kept like turning because it sounded like actual people like coming in. Like the knocking grows more insistent, and Karash lets out a tired sigh. Please wait. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, John? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. Oh, look at that facial expression change. The cenobium. The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobian gates open for precious few visitors, and even if they opened for you, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. And if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander, the leader of the Adderstone. Excuse me? The Wet what? Yeah, you say it fast and it sounds like something else. The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the Adderstone postings, as they are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, for Karash points toward the back door. You will be safe as long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak over my nose, stepping over the contents of empty chamber pots. I'm actually going to save right now because I kind of finished an arc. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets, my coin purse. Every last coin that I'd scraped together for the journey to Iridia is still inside. The purse doesn't even look like it was open. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Karash didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Karash gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Karash's clinic stretches down the road. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered others. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. Okay, so maybe healthcare is not completely free in this world except for Karash's clinic, but glad that it's a possibility. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet. Deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I know Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over me, and my stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. Not. That's interesting advertising for food. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thin layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. It's like, 3 eyes. Got some mutant fish here. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. See, that looks yummy compared to the 3-eyed fish, even though I love fish. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Two streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls, tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the words "The Adderstone" printed above his head. I pause before the poster. What a curious choice of name, a semi-precious mineral that draws out poison. If Leander is the leader of the Adderstone, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around the corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. Ooh, it's pretty inside. It's not even midday if the wick is packed. A loose collection of Iridians crowd the bar, taking up the tables and gathering in the spaces between. They speak amongst each other in hushed voices, their faces drawn and grave. A cursory glance doesn't turn out anyone with the dagger-shaped earring, and I'm considering searching the bar when a loud voice carries across the room. Now, I'm no prior or curator. I'm not much for paperwork or pencil pushing. And honestly, I don't even think those robes come in my size. I crane my neck, but the crowd is too dense for me to see the speaker. Gather around, I want to show you all something. There's no time to move out of the way. The audience surges towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. I'm caught and swept along with them. Hey! The clatter of falling chairs and tables being shoved aside drowns out my complaints. I thrash and throw my elbows as heavy bodies press into mine. It sounds like a show. Or like, man, look at the rowdy crowd. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd is still. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Somebody's a little extra. Some boob shot here. If you want nothing but guidelines, impractical policies, and needless bureaucracy, you know where to go. I drag my eyes upward. A man towers on the table in front of me, arms spread as he addresses his rapt audience. But I'm not going to wait for word from on high. His impassioned words provoke nods and excited whispers. But nothing is as captivating as his brilliant smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. And unlike those clerics, I don't need the abbess's approval to cast a spell or two. As he raises his hands above the audience, the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It seems I've found Leander. These are our streets. We make our own luck here. He snaps, and a flash of pale green light erupts from his hand. Oh, that's pretty. With the flick of his wrist, Leander conjures a ribbon of glittering light. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals unfurl. Leander raises the flowers with a flourish, and the bar bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open, and not just on the account of impressive performance. There was no incantation, no spell circle. I've never seen such beautiful and intricate spell cast so effortlessly. With skills like that, it's no wonder Karash sent me here. Leander plucks the shimmering flowers out of the air and turns in a slow circle. Now who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table, but Leander's cool green eyes slide right over them and lock onto me instead. How about you? My chest grows tight. Suddenly, I'm in the spotlight. See, well, we were trying to not get attention, but we're gonna take the flowers because I feel like refusing them would just cause more unwanted attention. Also, I mean, come on. I reach out and take the flowers from him, all too aware of my trembling fingers. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the lilies leave Leander's hand, they dim and they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long. They leave an impression, right? This guy is a smooth talker. He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with a clink. All right, show's over. Back to work, everyone. The audience disperses, and Leander heads toward the bar. Now's my chance. I start after him, only to find myself face to face with one of his followers. Where do you think you're going? I need to talk to Leander. You and a half of Lowtown. Leander's busy right now. Adderstone business. Come back tonight. After the moment we shared, surely Leander can spare a word. Oh, John, do not know how showbiz works. But the follower crosses her arms unmoved. I glance over her shoulder, hoping to catch a glimpse of Leander. As though sensing my gaze, he looks up, and for a moment, our eyes lock. Then Leander turns away to murmur something to the group gathered around him. The follower moves to block my view. You hear me? I'm not looking for trouble. This Dr. Karash said I should find Leander. She's interrupted by a hand resting on her shoulder. Karash sent you? He's got good hearing. He said you could help me. Leander nods at the woman, and she steps aside wordlessly. Follow me. He leads me to the crowded bar. There's so little room that his broad shoulders press against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. God, he's like Dorito-shaped. Sorry about that. The Adderstone watch out for one another, but they can be overprotective at times. Lesson learned. Leander flashes me a broad grin. You're new to Iridia, aren't you? He says it with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. Dude is already, hitting on us. My eyes drop to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What'll it be? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab. We're gonna go with I'll have what he's having. See, I would say water's good, but I don't drink. But we're also trying to get some info from him. Oh, oops, sorry. Go back there. There, I'll have what he's having. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. His sleeves right up, revealing a long gray scar. I catch myself following its winding pattern across his forearm. Leander's eyes wander over me in return. When they lock on my bandaged hands, a bitter taste rises in my throat. Here comes the questions. Is there any chance Karash sent you here for cheap drinks or barely edible appetizers? No. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, sighing when it immediately falls back into place. That's the doctor for you. Always business. I'm not sure he even knows how to relax. He is a doctor. I feel like med school will do that to you. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses. I raise mine and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, like beer, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful. Briny and sour with a distinct hint of pickle flavoring. I did not enjoy that at all. Beside me, Leander takes a deep swig from his glass. Oh, so he's that kind of guy. He likes the, what are they called? Picklebacks? So how can I help you? I need to get to the cenobium. He's making a face at this. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the group standing nearby falls silent. Apparently we don't have, indoor voices, so it's just everybody's hearing things in this loud bar. From the wary looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some taboo. It had to be the cenobium. Leander pushes away from the counter. Let's continue this conversation outside. I rise to follow him. Leander leads me into an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick. Layers upon layers of frayed and faded Adderstone posters plaster the wall. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his printed likeness is impressive, if abstract. Karash didn't send you here to ask for a personal escort to the cenobium, did he? From his tone, he already knows the answer. No, he suggested that I reconsider. Yet here you are asking about a guide anyway. He looks at me expectantly. I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my monstrous capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Are you aware of Iridia's particular currency? Information's worth its weight in gold here. I don't much care for outdated traditions, so I'll be completely honest. The cenobium won't help you. They're more likely to torture you than lend you a hand. Torture? My teacher never described anything like that. But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a fading world. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. Leander nods patiently. You're not the first person to fall for their propaganda. Ooh. Leander is very anti-bureaucracy, anti-institution. I grew up idolizing the cenobium. I wanted nothing more than to join their ranks, to learn magic from the best, to make a real difference. I was young and blinded by the legends and the legacy. I was so damn naive. He shakes his head. All it took was one trip here, to Lowtown, to show me the truth. Unless you've got a heavy purse or highborn blood, the cenobium doesn't give a damn. They'll never open their gates for the ones who need help the most. Then it's all a lie? Things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. Leander watches me as though weighing something in his mind. But that doesn't mean you're hopeless. Far from it. I founded the Adderstone to help people like you. We settle disputes, slay feral soulless. Hell, we've even been known to patch a leaky roof or two. Whatever troubles you, we can help, free of charge. That sounds too good to be true. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander doesn't look remotely surprised. Then you're looking for help with something serious, something not even Karash could crack. It must be a truly remarkable problem if you came all the way to Iridia searching for help. Tell me, how can I help you? Leander may not work for the cenobium, but if his demonstration was any indication, then he's even stronger than the mage who raised me. She couldn't do anything about my curse, but maybe. Indecision gnaws at me. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this might be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a strained whisper. I'm cursed. He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. Is that why you bandage your hands? My touch is dangerous. It changes people. Hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander pulls his left glove off. He flexes a finger and grins. All right, let's see it. He offers me his hand. A prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm. An enchantment for protection, but I'm already shrinking backwards. He's so cocky, too. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I won't allow myself to hurt him, to see his kind face unrecognizably warped. I don't want to hurt you. I'll be fine, trust me. I've seen enough curses and hexes to last me 2 lifetimes, but I'm still standing. Do you really think Karash would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm twice as good as any Cenobian mage. If anyone can help you, it's me. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. If you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. I feel like Leander's a bit freaky. His attempt at levity does little to comfort me. With each joint I expose, I grow increasingly certain that this is a terrible idea. But if he's bothered by how my hand looks, he doesn't show it. All right, deep breath on my count. Like he's smiling the whole time. This is interesting. My fingers hover shakily over Leander's palm. 3, 2, 1. Oh man. Like, kind of want to like call his bluff a little bit, but then also like, do we want to risk it? I feel like he's gonna keep pushing if we hold back. And also we are desperate. We did come here looking for answers, and Karash said, not that like we trust Karash that much, but he did save our lives. He did say go to Leander, so we're gonna touch him and hope for the best. I tap his palm once as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. Heart racing, my eyes dart to his face, but Leander only smiles gently. See? It can't be. When I reach for his palm again, Leander catches my wrist before I can pull back. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He trails off when his thumb grazes the soft skin of his... He trails off when my thumb grazes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain clear, soft, green. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of his palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't anticipating. It's not as though I've never been touched before. My curse only extends to my hands, and desperation spurs creativity. It's kind of an interesting point of note that it's only the hands, which is still important. Use your hands to do a lot of things, and not being able to use them in different ways. I could see that, like, definitely making you feel like lonely, and as the game is called TOUCHSTARVED. But yeah, interesting that like we're not rogue completely, where it's not our whole body, it's just our hands. But all that pales in comparison to this. I've never experienced such intimacy. Out in the streets, too. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves along his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the bones in his wrists. Also, just something worth noting about hands, because I was actually thinking about this the other day. Like, there's so many nerve endings to our fingers. Like, I stabbed myself in the finger at work one time, and dang, it took forever to heal. Like, it was just a shard of glass, and I still have a scar from it. But just because there was so many nerve endings on your fingertips, like, I was in pain for like a couple months, and then even like I was thinking about it because yesterday, I don't know if it was a paper cut or dry skin, but yeah, like cut along my thumb again, and just you need your hands for so much, and I wound up having to bandage it, and like could not type on my phone because my phone couldn't read my bandages, and then realizing I had to go back to typing like this. It was you. We use your fingers a lot. I'm also a former pianist, so hands are a big deal for me. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing. Pietro, sit down. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine hammers as fear gives way to excitement. I find it interesting that his pulse is steady. It's like it's like he either knows more than what he's letting on, or he is that powerful. And possibly not mortal. So interesting choice. Keep touching him or let him go. I am not a touchy-feely person. The companion is a touchy-feely person, so we're going to go with that one. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his arm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to a raised scar. I'm getting kind of bold. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? When I glance at Leander's face, his lips part as he considers his words. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. Then is it everything you wanted? I love his little sideways glance, though. It does make him kind of cute. Like, dude has like +5 charisma. Like, he knows what he's doing. When I nod, Leander turns my hand in his to expect the gleaming fissures crisscrossing my ankles. Okay, Pietro, Pietro's on my arm again. I want to see what it looks like having a cat just sitting on me. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you can see in the corner, but yeah, there's Pietro here. I'll pull it on the light. This is what I have to deal with a lot. But I do love him. He's a nice, soft, fluffy boy. There's no revulsion in his face, no fear. He looks up at me and grins. Pietro, sit down. It's not every day I meet someone as enticing as Gold. But yeah, I was like, we do have the gold-like scars or cracks, which I love that design, because I have cracked skin from eczema, and I wish it was at least pretty, even though, and I guess I'm not cursed, it's just gross and itchy. He winks and lets me go. This guy and his riz, like, seriously. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels like it's stuffed with cotton. It's like, I wonder if that's on feelings or something else. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. I've really forgotten my manners. May I ask your name? Yeah, Leander, don't you go touching people and grabbing their hands without asking their names. I'm John. John, this curse of yours is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I can tell you're careful, but it's best you kept this between us. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I'd yet to consider. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. The wake is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of Leander's followers have dispersed, or in a few cases fallen asleep beside their drink. It's like, the wet wig sounds like a grungy dive bar, but or at least it's got like a pretty display of alcohol. Maybe it's actually kind of grungy a little bit. Got any rooms left? Or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. The usual room? Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. Oh, what does that mean? No, not today. This is just for my friend John. Leander, so special. He's got a usual room for things. Right. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Have fun? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Sounds almost too good to be true, but yeah, secrets are currency. That's interesting. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Iridia is twice as dangerous as it is wondrous. Be careful out there. And if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Oh, is that an invitation? I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me a friendly wave before returning to the bar. Dust glitters in the sparse rays of light illuminating the room. The furniture is tired, the walls cracked, and a large lumpy bed serves as the centerpiece. I can't remember the last time I slept in a bed, and I never imagined I'd sleep in one tonight. When I collapse onto the bed, the springs let out shrill squeaks. Finally, I can allow myself to rest. My eyes fall shut before long. We survived a day. We get a bed. I'm going to save and get some more water. And we'll be back in 2 seconds. A little bit more food. Really need okay. Double check my sound. Okay. I wake to pale light filtering through the narrow windows. Despite the clamor of the tavern below, the precious hours of rest have restored my strength and gifted me a flicker of cautious optimism. There's so much a bed can do for you. Like, even if it's not the greatest bed, like, it's better than a floor. If I play my cards right, today could be the day I get closer to finding a cure. I quickly head out of the wet wick. The air clings sodden and heavy with the lingering scent of rain. Without the afternoon crowd, the district looks barren and bleak. I guess this is like, maybe not quite like a nocturnal city, but one that's slow to start in the day. In the middle of the street. Alright, Pietro's about to jump up and knock things over. Pietro, make up your mind, please. In the middle of the street, a pair of crows quibble over stale bread crusts. I pause, watching them while I consider my next move. Karash and Leander both made it clear that the Cenobium can't be trusted. But I came so far and endured too much to give up now. I need to see the cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. Surely someone in the bar can point me in the right direction. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. Yeah, it's like it got kind of dark quickly. The shadow trickles down the street in rivulets, formless dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch. A muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep, I feel it in my chest. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to look at what got me in the eye first. I steel myself, then turn. Interesting. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came, and I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, save for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Okay. A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for human were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle, or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. We lock gazes, and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. It's like, bro, we had something over our shoulder. Of course we're jumpy. And when I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable grin. Did you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the Wick's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. With a flick of his wrist, my in-room key dangles from his finger. It turns on its chain, glittering when it catches the light. Pickpocket. Maybe he's the shadow. My hands fly to my cloak's pockets and sure enough find them flat. He crooks his finger, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. I always seem to attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Yeah, we're not doing great at lying low. Let's see. Yeah, who said that's my key, or where did you find it? It's like, because this guy is literally a tricky fox. We're gonna go with who said that's my key. Let's see if he knows. Who said that's mine? He smiles wide enough to reveal sharp fangs. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, someone might take advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I didn't drop my key, and I didn't sense any magic either. He must have stolen it somehow. I approached the monster, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but most deadly ones never do. Pietro, did you burn your fur in my... So I've got a bug zapper, and I just smelled something burnt, so either a bug actually did get there, or Pietro's fur. Like, he's been sniffing around at it. And I didn't hear it pop, so it must have gotten fur. Yeah, I was like, how can you say this guy does not look dangerous? Like, okay, dangerous and sexy, but clearly this is danger. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance? I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? Yeah, I was like, how do you respond to that? He got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's a shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. I like that line, and I like that imagery. I was like, guess you're not wrong. I'm also thinking back to, like, if I've been to burlesque shows with pink curtains. I'm trying to remember I think the Dallas School of Burlesque back in the day. It was a very pink studio, but I was like, were curtains gold or pink? They may have been pink. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. It's your flick. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I feel something other than dread. My face grows hot. I didn't mean to assume. Oh, but we did. And I mean, he does have a collar and is dressed sluttily, so, and was kind of flirting with us in a kind of roundabout way. I'm flattered, really. Did you think you could pay to pet my ears? Oh, just like his little laugh. I just need my key back. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. Well, that's innuendo, if anything. Just throw it here, so some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. He looks so pissed. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick toward me. They gleam bright with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. Oh man, calling us out. And by us, I mean calling me out. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever... Do we walk away or play? Well, we need our key, so, can I play along with him? How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved, and nearly died in a swamp just so I can crawl in bed with the first thirsty monster I met? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I have been told subtlety's not my strength. So your place or mine? Oh, man. Okay. I'd invite you if I had my key or all that. I'd invite you if, we want our key back. I mean, free room and board. If I only have my key, I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. Okay, sounds a tiny bit, I guess, racist, speciest. I'm super curious how the human monster magic user, like, there's clearly hierarchies in this world, and like um people not trusting one another. So yeah, I find it fascinating that it sounds like, we definitely respect the magic users, even if our mentor screwed us over. And but I guess it looks like not a fan of the monsters, since I guess they just kind of came to our world, which has interesting implications. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack me or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. No matter what. Just put a leash on that collar. I know, right? Like, no matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. Yeah, this is like my life IRL. I I say things. The companion turns it into innuendo. This is why I play these games. I gotta learn how to deal with it. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their luteus is utterly exquisite, truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place, if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The monster's gaze flickers from me to the key hanging from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little smear on a map when I first arrived. High town, low town, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the cenobium? Do you know where that is? Oh, he's got flattened ears. His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it, that absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things those stuffy boars in their limp dick tower couldn't even dream of. I love the way he talks. What do you say? How about the two of us have a little adventure? I love his little smile too, even if he's also shady. I've already got plans. Oh, have you some pressing matters at the cenobium? Lunch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his own tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. No, we shouldn't have gone for that. Hey. He yanks me down and I stagger, my shoes slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as he grips my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of the road and death. And that fucking doctor. Ooh. I like that they know each other. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes at me. Let go. Just when I fear he'll bite, his grip loosens and his eyes widen with awe. It seems I underestimated you. You're Veer! The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging my bandages. He twists around to see a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her cenobium uniform is nearly identical to the one my mentor kept tucked away in her closet. I leave you for all of what, 10 minutes, and you're making trouble again. Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, Veer, I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious, can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me, and his tail swishes coyly. This woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Veer cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger is drawn to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you given time. The woman clucks her tongue, as though she's heard this recital once, 102 times. Word to the wise, don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. Ouch. She shrugs off a withering look from Veer. Oh, please, any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Veer rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from his harness, but a heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Oh, so he's already leashed. The woman produces a crowded key ring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little soulless hunt. They're hunting for soulless inside the city? Words momentarily fail me. The cleric regards me with a polite, if tight, smile before marching down the stairs. Veer lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. He's got that DV. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed. Veer hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Laveshian knot? That sounds kinky. That one where you take 3 fingers and actually don't tell me. Knowing you, it's probably disgusting. Veer's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Wait. Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it. The room key. I raise it to the light. Sure enough, it's my key, but the realization is hardly comforting. I don't know what Veer's game was, or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the cenobium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share if that's what his vague warning meant. So we finally have a clue as to why no one likes the cenobium. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns, gently swaying in the breeze, to the cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need. Then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. And I think I'm going to stop there because it is 4 o'clock and got like a couple hours before I need to head off to volunteer. But yeah, we met 3 of our assorted love interests / people who could possibly kill us. I love the setting and the narration of this game, so I'm very excited to see the rest of the demo and also where we end up with all of this with some of our choices. Like, you couldn't tell, I already have some faves. Especially if you know my choice in anime men. But yeah, next month I will probably finish this up. I think it will be after I do my show. So my show is on June 13th, and I I want to spend time obviously rehearsing and like preparing for it, and also it depends on when the companion is out, and because I don't think I'm going to have another weekday off while he's working. But yeah, thank y'all for joining me, and I will see you later. Bye.